Sandbox MMA fans, we are breaking down UFC 97 Burns versus Brady, which went on last night. It was overall a pretty darn good card. There were some boring fights, some fun fights, but I did pretty well on the betting. Missed a couple of bets, but I ended up going positive because we hit a couple of really good props, which evened me out from the other straight bets, but we nailed that parlay, making it very in the green. So we were very in the green yesterday. The parlay was Petrosky, Gabriel Santos, Yanal Ashmouz, Andre Lima, and Natalia Silva. All 5 fighters won. That parlay cash for plus 678. Hope you tailed it. Also hit a couple of really good props like Isaac Dolgarian by sub specifically. I also hit Andre Lima on points and Jacqueline Amorin by sub. So I got 3 of those props as well. I sprinkled a couple round finishes, but very, very little, like 0.1 units on it for like Petrosky certain round finishes and Kyle Nelson certain round finishes, which we got wrong, but overall we were very in the green. Now, on the card, I did go 7-5, which is okay. Not great, but okay. It brings my overall record to 230 and 137. Let's just get into the stuff that you want to hear, though. Zigomanis Ramaska versus Nathan Fletcher. Ramaska is terrible, can't defend a takedown to save his life. Now, I do think there is some violence there in the feet, but it's not technical, it's not pretty, and I think he was very nervous of the takedowns from Nathan Fletcher, which made him reluctant to throw, and he should have been, because Nathan Fletcher was getting the takedowns at will. Now, there were moments where Zigomanis Ramaska was reversing it and getting some offense off himself. But overall, once Nathan Fletcher got the fight to the ground in round 2, he got his submission via arm triangle, looked good in the finish, and looked like he's going to keep improving. Good win from Nathan Fletcher. I got that one wrong. Ramaska got to be better at takedown defense, and I know that his scrambles looked good in the first round, but I don't know if it took all the gas out of him at the end of the day. He wasn't going to be able to do that for 3 rounds. He had a couple good scrambles, couple good tricks, but Nathan Fletcher ended up getting it done, holding top position, getting that submission. Good work for Nathan Fletcher. Dylan Budka versus Andre Petrosky. Now, I forget on the detailed predictions if I said TKO, which I might have said late round TKO, or if I said decision. Probably said late round TKO, but Andre Petrosky does get it done by decision. Petrosky does look fucking terrible on the feet. Looks afraid to be on the feet. He wants to go there, take you down, put you on your back, and control you. Couldn't get a submission off Dylan Budka, which is just not impressive. Dylan Budka looked terrible on the scales and somehow looked like he had more pop in his shots than Andre Petrosky. Petrosky would throw up that leg kick every once in a while, or throw up the high kick every once in a while, but Budka was game for it. Budka would just throw everything he had in the first round, get taken down, then he would start throwing some better combinations in the second round, then get taken down and controlled. Same thing in the third round. So the story was Petrosky each round getting 1 takedown and holding the fight there the entire time. Now, Petrosky he was advancing position, getting good control, camping half guard, getting to full mount, taking the back at points, but overall, wasn't really landing much damage at all. Like, he had opportunities where it was 30 seconds left, 1 minute left, where he could have really started landing some damage and actually looked like he had an awesome performance, but instead, he just had a very grappling, control-heavy performance. It was dominating. Don't get me wrong, he dominated Dylan Budka, but I'd like to see more when you're not facing this high-level competition that clearly doesn't have a strong jiu-jitsu game. Like, Petrosky's jiu-jitsu is so much better than Dylan Budka, but he just doesn't use it in these positions. Like, I don't know if he actually has this elite, like, he has elite-level top pressure, but I don't know if he has, like, the actual quality submissions, like, other than an arm triangle to really submit guys. So I'm not impressed with the Petrosky performance here, man. A 30-27 decision is dominance, but I'd like to see you do better against Dylan Budka. I think there were opportunities for a finish in this fight that he left on the table, and now no one's chomping at the bit to see Andre Petrosky. So again, Petrosky gets it done, dominant performance, but didn't look that good. We move on. And even though you were one of the legs in my parlay, all I wanted to see you do was win. I'd like to see it more impressive just for your career, but who the fuck am I to tell you? I'm just a guy on YouTube just cranking out content because I'm a fan, so it is what it is. Vanessa Demopoulos, Jacqueline Amorim. Now, Vanessa Demopoulos cannot land with her hands because she has terrible reach, but the kicks that she was throwing was kind of landing. She landed a couple body kicks. It says 0 for 3 on the head. One of the kicks that she threw, the knee actually caught the head of Jacqueline Amorim, and I thought it was danger. But Jacqueline Amorim gets her takedown, gets great control, shows her elite jiu-jitsu, transitions, gets the armbar submission. Now, there was a little bit of a controversy here with Vanessa Demopoulos, instead of trying to get out of a submission, arguing about her fingers being in the glove. Now, Jacqueline Amorim's fingers were in the glove, but Vanessa Demopoulos, you say it once, but you got to get back to fighting. The ref will look and come over. You can keep saying it, but you cannot focus off the fight. It looked like she just gave up the arm to say, hey, look, it's in the gloves, and got armbarred. You have to still defend the armbar. You're still in the fight. So to see her complain and get all bitchy about it after was kind of annoying too, considering that she has 5 robbery decisions in her favor. She should literally be 7-9. Maybe 7-10 now after that loss. Looking like a legitimate Chicago Bears type team this year in terms of her record. Jacqueline Amorum's jiu-jitsu game's so much better. Like, it really is so much better. Demopoulos has decent jiu-jitsu, but Jacqueline Amorum's was much better. She got the armbar. Yes, were the fingers in the glove? Yes. But at the end of the day, I don't think it caused the armbar submission. I think Vanessa Demopoulos was just that close to getting subbed anyway. Good work from Jacqueline Amorum here. I thought if it was going to go to decision, it would have went to Demopoulos, but it didn't. So I started 1-2. But we pick up here. Gabriel Santos, Yiza. There's not much to say in this fight other than the fact that Gabriel Santos is a really good fighter and he just beat the piss out of Yiza. Now, Yiza, good on him for making it a war. Being able to throw punches. Get some low kicks in, sure, but really start to throw punches to the head and make this a fight. But he did get dominated. He got beat up by Gabriel Santos and then got knocked down in that first round. I think it was the front kick. But Gabriel Santos looked much better in the striking, but Yiza looked game. So this is not a dude that should get cut. He's not the most talented guy on the roster, but he's going to try and bring the fight to you every time. So respect to Yiza for that. But I think Gabriel Santos is a legit, really good fighter. He lost to really tough competition in David Onama and a split decision with Lerone Murphy. I think this dude's a really good fighter, and I think he's going to keep getting better in that octagon. So great performance. He showed tremendous grappling. First of all, the wrestling, the ability to get the takedowns was good. His jiu-jitsu, his top pressure, his transitions looked really good. Wasn't really threatening with submissions, but he had just great movement on the ground. And then when he was on the feet, he was outlanding Yiza. Had better punches, better kicks. Like, he was landing to the body really well, very efficiently. Also, like 17 of 18 here, very efficiently. Landing to the head very efficiently. So Yiza, head movement's a thing. Like, you got to be less hittable, but great performance from Gabriel Santos. Was very, very impressed. This dude's legit. Speaking of dudes that are legit, I think this guy has potential to be a top 5 flyweight at some point in his career, Andre Lima. There were moments where it was scary, where Felipe Dos Santos was throwing, but Andre Lima showed off a chin. He showed off an ability to get kicks off against anyone. He was landing good body kicks. He was throwing them up to the head. He was landing them low. He was mixing up his strikes well. And, dude, he had some, very, very good counter left hands. So, Felipe Dos Santos would come overextend. He would be out of the way and then fire off the left hand and land it good. They were some of the most significant strikes of the fight. So, Andre Lima also showed off great grappling. Felipe Dos Santos was the one to initially go in for the clinch, and once Andre Lima stuffed them, realized how much stronger he is than Felipe Dos Santos, he went to the grappling in the last 2 rounds and controlled the fight by literally having good top pressure in the second round, so it was pretty much staying on top the whole time. And then in the third round, transitioning to the back and camping there, threatening with submissions. Almost had the rear naked choke 2-3 times. Felipe Dos Santos is literally getting choked out and just stayed calm, stayed fighting the hands, and toughed it out. So Felipe Dos Santos, tough son of a bitch. This guy's a tough son of a bitch to get out of there. Tough guy to submit. It just shows that you can really grit out of these sometimes. And he gritted out of those submissions. But at the end of the day, it was a dominant and impressive performance from Andre Lima. We knew he could strike, but he showed off the grappling. He's a big flyweight. I think this dude's going to be a serious problem in the division. The one thing that we got to clean up here is if you're getting taken down and you're grabbing the fence that aggressively, you're going to lose decisions because points will eventually start to be taken. I know that we're in this phase right now of not penalizing fighters, but the tide is going to start turning, I'm telling you. They're going to start penalizing these fighters. They're going to take a point if you hold on to the cage like that. You got to do better than that, Andre Lima. But at the end of the day, got the decision, got the dominant win. Really, really good performance from Andre Lima there. And I got that pick right. A lot of people were picking Felipe Dos Santos as an underdog because he went to a split decision with Kopp, but they forget that he literally went to a split decision where he should have lost to Victor Altamirano. So, yeah, I like the way Felipe Dos Santos fights. He's fun, but Andre Lima is just a better fighter, and I knew that. So, chalk that one up. We're going on a little streak here now, 3-2. And Isaac Bulgarian, I picked sub specifically. I think I picked the first round, but Brennan Marotte from Haverhill, Mass., very close to where I live. I'm not telling you where I live, but very close to where I live. ends up getting his fucking shit beat in for the entire first round, but just survives it. About to get TKO'd, will not submit, will not let go of the arm triangle. Like, the arm triangle's in, Dulgarian looks like he has it, Moreau looks like he's about to tap, and then Dulgarian goes, I guess I don't have it, gives it up, gets top position, and just continues to lay ground and pound. So, Isaac Dulgarian showed us a great job of being able to inflict damage in the grappling. So he grapples and he dominates, but he's not laying there. He's not just laying and praying. He's landing great ground and pound. He's threatening with submissions. Really good dominant performance from Isaac Dulgarian. Ends up getting the back take and getting the rear naked choke in round 2. He gets that one. I get it right. Brendan Moreau showed toughness and durability, like staying in that fight, but Isaac Dulgarian is just a fucking monster, man. Like, do I think eventually there are people in this division that are going to stuff those takedowns and end up beating his ass? Yes. But for now, his technique is working where he's just blitzing guys, getting them taken down, ground and pound, threatening with submissions, more ground and pound, more submissions. It just looks good. So Isaac Dulgarian, great win, dominant win. If you guys remember, I went back and forth on this so many times. Padilla won. And he landed a 6-step-in elbow to shut the eye of Rongju to get the win. Rongju looked really good in the striking also. Really good. In the first round, he was beating up Chris Padilla. Like, landing really good punches. Padilla would land a couple good counters, but at the end of the day, it was all the story of Rongju. There were low kicks landed from Padilla, but the strikes up top were all Rongju. He was headhunting. He was landing fast. He was landing hard. He was hurting Padilla a little bit. Round 2 comes around, a tide changes. Chris Padilla starting to pick it up a little bit more, finally settles in, finds his range, uses lateral movement better, step in elbow, boom. Like, the second Rongju throws this power punch, Padilla meets him, lands the elbow right on the eye, and immediately Rongju goes, oh, was it an eye poke? Like, I can't see out of the eye. Padilla goes, no, it was an elbow. So the fight keeps going, and that elbow shut the eye off of Rongju. He got the biggest swollen eye that I have seen in a very long time in MMA. And it looked gnarly. Gets the fight called because this dude can't see out of one eye. Holy shit, what a performance from Chris Padilla. Rongju looked good as well, so I think he's still a decent fighter here in the UFC. But I think Chris Padilla is actually a good fighter. Showing great fight IQ. I was very, very impressed with Padilla's performance. I was impressed with Rongju at moments in this fight as well. But if you remember, in my prediction video, I went back and forth. Padilla was plus 200. And I kept saying he's a live dog. I might pick him. But I picked Rongju. And then I would scroll up and I would go, do I want to pick Padilla? And I did want to pick Padilla, but I didn't do it. So I would have gotten this fight right, but I got it wrong. Trust my instinct. I don't care that it says plus 200. There are going to be nights where underdogs win big fights like this. And I picked a lot of them. Some of them I just didn't pick the right ones. Speaking of the right one, though, Yanel Ashmouz, when I picked him, was an underdog, and he won this fight. Now, he didn't win it the way I thought he would. I thought he was going to throw a big overhand right and knock out Trevor Peek, and there were moments where he was landing the big overhand right, but he wasn't knocking out Trevor Peek. Yanel Ashmouz would just sit there, slickly, like just Dominic Cruz was saying it, dude. He was the sly red fox, dude. Just sit there, slickly, like, poke at Trevor Peek. Trevor Peek would wing it in. He would duck, shoot the takedown, get the takedown, and grapple the whole fight. Now, Trevor Peek showing Derek Lewis level skill, being able to get up no matter what, but he would just get controlled against the cage. There would be knees landed by Ashmouz. They would separate. Then Trevor Peek would get hit once. Then he would go in with a big barrage, land some of his punches. Then Yanel Ashmouz would go in, grapple. It's just the story of Yanel Ashmouz timing great grappling, using his strikes to make Trevor Peek want to swing, and then go under and get his takedown and control. So Yanel Ashmouz wins. Good performance. Boring performance, but he won. Good performance. So I got that one right as an underdog pick. There's not much to tell there. It was a pretty boring fight. This fight was fucking fireworks. Right off the gate, Matt Schnell and Cody Durden just start trading shots. I thought Matt Schnell was going to get it done. He looked so much better in the boxing. But Cody Durden was landing some good power shots as well. And then it got to the grappling. Matt Schnell in the second round shot a bad take. Now, I thought Cody Durden was going to be the one to shoot the bad takedown and Schnell was going to latch up the guillotine, but Matt Schnell shot the bad takedown. Cody Durden rolled with it and ended up getting a choke. It wasn't a guillotine. It was like a, not even an anaconda choke. It was like a, I don't remember what the fuck they called it, but he pretty much sprawled and ended up getting rolled over like a fucking alligator hunter, and Cody Durden got the choke. So good win from Cody Durden. Matt Schnell, like, they threw down. If you want to see a fun first round of a fight, this fight was fucking awesome in the first round. They were throwing down just trading punches left and right. Cody Durden would land good shots. Matt Schnell would kind of weather it, still take him in the face, pause, and then land a couple good combinations of his own. Then Cody Durden would get wobbled. Matt Schnell would start teeing off. Cody Durden would land a power shot, get Matt Schnell backing up. They were just going back and forth. It was a sick fight. But Matt Schnell got subbed in the second round. Matt Schnell, after the fight, takes his gloves off, puts him down in the octagon, walks out, and starts kind of crying. Feel bad for the dude, man. He's lost a number of fights recently in the UFC. But he goes out there and he puts on a fucking show every time for the guys. I think he's done. I think he just retired. Matt Schnell, thank you so much for a great career. Fun career. I made so much fucking money betting on you against Suma Darji. But yeah, dude, it's been a fun career. Like, if you know, like, I know that we make this joke, like, he's got no chin, his chin's getting shattered at flyweight, but, like, he's fighting really good competition. He's fighting power guys, and yeah, dude, it's tough. He's fought very good competition. But every fight he's in is fun. It's a war. Like, he's never in one of these boring fights. You go back to the Steve Ercik fight, they were trading great shots. It was a good fight. You go back to the Suma Darji fight, it was one of the most fun fights of that year. Best comeback I'd seen. This Cody Durden fight was fucking fireworks. Gets into these really good fights. It's tough to see, man. It was just, he looked really emotional. It was sad, but thank you for the career match now. It was fun to watch. Steve Garcia, Kyle Nelson. Holy shit, dude. Steve Garcia will not be denied. Steve Garcia got taken down, got control, but he muscled out of it, dude. He muscled out of fucking getting his back taken and just ends up mounting Kyle Nelson, and just starts landing insane, like, fucking hammer fists. He just literally goes crazy on dudes. Like, he had top position and just started going crazy, going for the finish. It was insane. Like, Kyle Nelson, good work getting the takedown. Steve Garcia flipped and Kyle Nelson jumped on it. Or slipped, and Kyle Nelson jumped on it. And he took the back, was landing little pitter-patters. Steve Garcia, at some point in this round, like a minute and a half left in the fight. Yeah, literally, like a minute and a half left in this fight. So at about 2:30, reversed it, starts landing insane ground and pound. Kyle Nelson's weathering it. They're telling him to fight. He fights. He keeps getting control. He does it. And then all of a sudden, Steve Garcia gets to this spot where Kyle Nelson's back is up against the fence. His head is primed to be hit. And Steve Garcia looks at him and just mashes him in the head with an elbow. Now, he did land an elbow in the back of the head pretty bad. You could see it with the welt and Kyle Nelson after. But the one that he landed for the knockout was the one to the front of the head. Now, I do think the back of the head one did have him still hurt. But at the end of the day, like, it's happening. When you're scrambling, there are going to be moments like this. It's not like he's trying to tee off to the back of the head. There aren't repeated shots. But it happens. Steve Garcia ends up throwing one to the front of the head, though, that really hurts Kyle Nelson, lands the ground and pound, gets the finish. What a fucking performance from Steve Garcia. And his coach is saying, I don't want to see you in the gym for at least 30 days. Get out of here. So he's going to go up to Idaho and go fishing. What a fucking beast. This guy is absolutely a warrior. I think his wife's pregnant, too. So goes in there, gets a sick finish. What a fucking fight. Like, what a fight. Or what a performance, I'm sorry, from Steve Garcia. Gets the knockout. This dude's legit as fuck, man. Like, he just won't go away. So as it goes up in competition, it keeps getting crazier. Interested to see what happens next. We'll match make him in tomorrow's video, but now we're going to move up to the co-main, which was Natalia Silva and Jessica Andrade. Now, Jessica Andrade had her moments where she was landing really powerful punches. Natalia Silva shows off a chin, shows off grit, and shows off tremendous footwork and striking. She's going side to side, getting to be hard to hit, landing her good 1-2s, landing her taekwondo side kick to the head, side kicks to the body. She just outpointed and outclassed Jessica Andrade all night on the feet. When it came to the grappling control, Natalia Silva was able to land knees, land elbows, and just get the separation she needed. She was doing better in the defensive grappling than Jessica Andrade was doing offensively grappling. So overall, great performance from Natalia Silva. Looked really, really good. The simple point of this is she just outclassed Jessica Andrade 30-27 across the board this whole fight. My final ticket to the parlay cashes. I'm telling you right now, we could be looking at a future flyweight champion in the women's division here. But the division's a little clogged up. You got Manon Fiorot, who's going to get the next title shot. She deserves it against the winner of Grasso versus Andrade. I'm sorry, Grasso versus Shevchenko. Then you got Natalia Silva, who's sitting there with Rose Namajunas and Macy Barber and Erin Blanchfield. So you have those 4 women. I say you do a little bit of a tournament with those women. Now you have Namajunas versus Blanchfield. The winner of that will probably fight for the title next. Actually, not if it's Blanchfield, but Natalia Silva's got to be injected there somewhere. So I think Natalia Silva gets a win, maybe 2 more wins, then gets herself a title fight, falls into it. Like, she beats a Rose Namajunas or beats a Erin Blanchfield and Macy Barber or something like that. You could see her getting a title shot, but I think she could be a future champion. Maybe not in her first run, but I see her getting her way to a title soon. And speaking of getting their way to a title, Sean Brady, dude. We might have a situation here where it's Sean Brady, Jack Della Maddalena, Shavkat Rakhmonov trading for the belt between the 3, because I think it's a little triangle there. I think Sean Brady beats Jack Della. I think Jack Della beats Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I think Shavkat Rakhmonov beats Sean Brady. So, but let's talk about this fight. Holy shit. Sean Brady just did that to Gilbert Burns. Like, he just beat him across 5 rounds, ragdolled him. Like, literally ragdolled a Jiu Jitsu world champion. I'm astonished. Like, first round comes out, Sean Brady's landing better in the punching, boxing combinations. Jeez, can't even speak. Boxing combination, Sean Brady looks a lot better. Landing more, landing better. Gilbert's throwing these powerful overhands, but that's really all he's had in the striking all night was these powerful overhands that would occasionally tag Sean Brady. Now, he would throw a flying knee that would land. Sean Brady would just engage in the grappling, hold him against the cage. Gilbert Burns would be able to reverse at points, throw his own knees and stuff, but Sean Brady was able to outbox Gilbert Burns, landed far more low kicks and used his kicks a lot better than Gilbert Burns, looked much better and stronger in the clinch. So in the wrestling, he won this fight. In the jiu-jitsu, it was pretty even. Like, there weren't moments where any guy dominated the jiu-jitsu. Every time Sean Brady would get a takedown, try and get position, Gilbert Burns would scramble. Anytime Gilbert Burns would get a takedown, Sean Brady would pop back to his feet. The jiu-jitsu game of these 2 guys completely nullified. But Sean Brady pushed ahead in the wrestling, was better in the wrestling, looked better in the clinch. And, dude, no one picks up and slams Gilbert Burns. Sean Brady would do it. Sean Brady would have a single leg. I think it was in the 3rd round where he was holding onto a single leg that Gilbert was clearly stuffing, and he ends up just muscling up and getting the takedown, getting a slam takedown where he picks Gilbert Burns' legs off his feet and gets him down. He had three of those impressive takedowns where he would get Gilbert in the air and slam him down. No one does that to Gilbert Burns, dude. Sean Brady has next level strength. His conditioning looked good. People are talking, oh, he might be fading. Dude, he wasn't fading at all. His conditioning looked really good. He can go for 5 rounds at a high pace and with extreme pressure. Dude, he looked really, really good. Sean Brady might be a future champion, man. Because it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He will find a way to implement the grappling. And it will be dominant. Like, he does it. Like, against Shavkat is going to be the guy that I think it's going to be hardest for him to actually take down. And Bilal's one of those guys, too, that I think it would be difficult. But I think Sean Brady's boxing is getting much better, too, landing good combinations. The one thing that I will say about Sean Brady, I think he's a little chinny. I'll say it. So there's potential he could lose to, like, a Jack Della that can catch him the right way. But the longer that fight goes on, the more likely Sean Brady is going to just drag him to deep waters and take the pop out of his shots. But I think Sean Brady's a little chinny. And you saw it when a couple of those overhands landed from Gilbert Burns. You saw it when Bilal put a ton of pressure on him. So there are moments in which Sean Brady's chin looks a little sus, but at the end of the day, it's pure martial arts skill, dude. This guy is up there with the best of the best. I think we should do a little welterweight tournament right now because you got guys like Usman, Ian Gary, Leon Edwards, Shavkat, Jack Della, all these guys are up there at the top of the division, need to fight each other. Now, fuck Colby Covington. He doesn't deserve shit. But Sean Brady, dude, is one of those guys that we need to seriously start talking about as a future champion. Because he could be, and he might be. What a performance. Outboxing Gilbert Burns, out-kicking Gilbert Burns, out-wrestling Gilbert Burns, and the jiu-jitsu nullified. Like, what a performance from Sean Brady. This was great. Good overall card. Very, very impressed. I'm still sitting here just, like, shocked with how Sean Brady did because it was one of those performances where you look and you go, holy shit, dude. Like, this guy is a serious, serious problem for anyone in this division. Unbelievable performance. Gilbert Burns is a tough guy to do that to. Now, what I do want to say is Gilbert Burns took his gloves off, looked like he could have been retiring, But he ended up walking out of the octagon, not putting the gloves down. I don't think he's done. I think he's just disappointed in his own performance. I think he knows he could have done better. But at the end of the day, dude, there's sometimes a level where Sean Brady just, a guy like Sean Brady, it's hard to beat, especially if you're at 38 years of age. Like, I want to see Gilbert Burns in a money fight next. I want to see Gilbert Burns versus Colby Covington. Something like that would be a good one. So stay tuned for matchmaking if I make that. But great performance from Sean Brady. It's sad to see a fan favorite like Gilbert Burns lose 3 in a row, go down like that. But you know what? He'll be back. He's not going to retire. He deserves a montage when he does decide to retire because he's given us so many great moments. Love Gilbert Burns. Love the Show Me the Money pod. They do awesome stuff over there. But yeah, dude, really, really impressive performance from Sean Brady. That's all I can say. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. And thank you once again for tuning in.